Hi, my name is Justin, and I am going to sophomore year at Alameda High School. And for my starter project, I chose to do a Raspberry Pi video game emulator. This project basically allows the user to play older games from older consoles. And I chose this project because whenever I have free time, I would usually go to play video games with friends. And for my main project, which is my modification, I chose to do a custom controller because although the controls that came with the kit were working great, I soon realized that some games required more buttons, which the controllers included did not include. So I'm gonna share screen real quick. Okay, so this is when I first got the display working for my Raspberry Pi. And on this next slide is what the controller looks like. It doesn't look good, but it functions good greatly. Um, but here the red wires connect to the digital pins on the right side, and the black wires connect to ground, which complete the circuit when the button is pressed. So here's a little demo of the um, controller working. Sadly, it does not work with the Raspberry Pi for some reason, but on Windows it works. So whenever I press a button, if you can see the numbers here light up, and that corresponds to whichever button is being pressed. And with the joysticks, you can see it moving whenever I move it on the actual controller. So for the code for the buttons on the controller, I had to map out each pin for a specific button. So pin one would, for example, would be related corresponding to button one, and so on for all of the 10 buttons I have. And when I wired it, one side, like I said, was connected to each digital pin, and the other side was connected to ground. And for the joysticks, instead of using the digital pins, I had to use the analog pins, which, depending on how much voltage is going through it, updates the value of how far it moves left, right, up or down between 0 and 1023. And that is basically the code for my project. What some of the challenges I faced, like Kevin said, was um, I couldn't upload sketches onto my Arduino because of the USB cable, which took a lot of time to fix because I think it took around 3 days to come in, and those 3 days weren't really, not much happened. I learned something else in the meantime, like making more complex circuits, learning what resistors are and what they really do. And for my overall reflection, this has been a really good experience. I learned to deal with challenges that take a long time to fix and to make the most out of it. Um, and I think this has really taught me and encouraged me to take a deeper dive in electrical engineering, because after wiring up everything and having it work on screen, it's really satisfying. So thank you for listening. Any questions?
I have a question. So now that you have your own custom controller, what kind of games do you want to play?
When I made this controller, it was mainly for Mario Kart because I couldn't steer because the buttons were binded to something else that wouldn't allow it to happen. So yeah.
Mario Kart. All right. Awesome.
Any more questions?
When are we gonna see this in Walmart?
When I get the wire management better and not just on one breadboard.
Awesome. So cool. Great job.